Gamers of Reddit, what gaming experience will you never forget and why? The Psycho Mantis fight of Metal Gear Solid. Snake, plug your controller into the second controller port. Nowadays, such a thing would be considered trite or a cute gimmick at best, but for the time period when it came out, 1998, and the first time I played it, I was probably about 10 or 12 at the time. It was mind-blowing. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, in the first Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation, and later ported to GameCube, there's a boss you end up fighting called Psycho Mantis. He claims to be a true psychic and proves it to you by saying things like "I'll make your controller move through sheer force of will," and then causing it to vibrate. He comments on other games you've played, reading your memory card, makes you think he's turned off the game by doing the default input screen, and even avoids all of your attacks until an ally calls and tells you to plug your controller into the second controller port. It was amazing. Riding into Mexico in Red Dead Redemption, the music comes in it's absolutely perfect. That was just such an incredible moment. Truly a beautiful emotional experience. Just simple and delicate, but I felt like I was really there for those few moments. I felt free. This is the exact moment I came here for. I tried to achieve this feeling in the new one. Never did, and got pretty bummed. I married a man in Star Wars Galaxies and my town threw a huge wedding celebration for us. After the gifts and speeches we went back to his place and I stole everything he owned. In actuality I was a 13-year-old boy posing as a lady and my buddy was the wedding planner and convinced the town to make sure to bring gifts. He even got paid by the town. The entire thing was premeditated and we laughed for days and days non-stop. Absolutely loved this game. Learning the big secret of Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic about your main character for the first time. I didn't complete the game until way after it was released. I was really young when it came out and didn't even know what Star Wars was, but I never saw anything about it since it seemed like a forgotten game. I have to say, when the big reveal happened, I was shocked and excited. This would have been my answer. I don't think I had ever seen a game pull a twist off like that, and I was so invested in both my character and in Revan as a villain and a mystery. It was a really impactful moment. The first little sister encounter in BioShock, the whole opening scenario, the plane crash, floating in the water, realizing you can move, the elevator ride down, the first time you see the city, the hook across the top of the pod, the woman talking to the pram. My god, I love that game. If I could erase any game from my memory so I could experience it new, it would be this one. When I was around 4, I was playing Mario Kart on the SNES with my older brother who was around 7 years old. I was falling behind and he refused to wait for me to catch up. I got angry and bit him. I know it's weird, but it's just stuck in my memory. That was the first and last time I bit someone and it was over a video game. I was playing Final Fantasy VIE and my allotted time had run out just before getting to a checkpoint. My brother reset the console. Only time I've ever punched someone in the face. You have been visited by Money Pigeon. Like the video and subscribe within 5.6 seconds and you will get rich. Now back to scheduled programming. First time getting to Hyrule Field in Ocarina of Time. The kids today that grew up with 3D open world games have no idea just how mind-blowing it was when it was new. I'll follow up with walking into the forest temple for the first time. The atmosphere between the child and adult changes were completely different. The game wasn't holding your hand anymore, if it ever really was. That game in general is full of moments like those. The end of Portal 2. In particular the final portal you shoot. I'd waited until I finished my exams to play it, then basically stayed up all night to finish it. What an ending that was. Sadly of course it turned out to be the ending of the whole Half-Life/Portal universe. Getting knocked on your butt after failing to hit the button, looking through the ceiling and thinking, heh, won't work. I was going to post this and was amazed it isn't in the top half. Killing Paarthurnax. I still feel bad about it years later. Beating Halo 3 on Legendary with my brother split screen on a small TV in our room. It took us weeks to get to the last level and then it took us hours to get past the part where you drive the Warthog to the ship where the ground keeps falling down. It was one of the best moments I've felt after beating a game. You monster. It still boggles my mind how anyone considered killing Paarthurnax for even a moment. Killing my dog in Minecraft. I misclicked with a bone. trying to tame it, had accidentally hit it and I had to end its life. I've done this before. It's so fucking sad. Even worse IRL. All gillied up. Call of Duty 4. 50,000 people used to live here. I remember holding my breath when the helicopter was getting closer to Macmillan. Last mission of Halo 3, where the floor is collapsing and you're on the Warthog. I'll remember the feeling I had playing it for the first time with my friend in like 3rd grade forever. Such a epic mission. Just imagining the soundtrack from Halo 3 gives me nostalgia chills. Pianos intensify. Modern Warfare 2 was my introduction into online games. I had to beg my grandparents to get Wi-Fi for the house so I could play with my friends. One school night it's like 3 in the morning and I'm playing Search and Destroy with my friends. We get put into a lobby with a whole clap and they start talking ungodly amounts of shit. Here I'm in my undies, middle of the night and yelling all kinds of shit back at them. I just remember us winning and us rubbing it in the noses while we watch as they all leave the lobby one by one. Those were the days, man. There's a deep nostalgia to be experienced when thinking of MW2, a truly beautiful game. Beating co-op Portal 2 with 2 of my best friends, we spent forever laughing, messing with each other, trying to figure out puzzles that made us feel stupid for how long it took. Finishing it felt like a chapter in our lives came to a close. Never going to forget those moments. The first, and only, time I beat another human in a game of StarCraft 2nd 1v1, because I realized, hey, I outplayed this guy. I didn't have teammates who could carry or feed and neither did he. I just played better than him overall, and that's why I won. It felt great to know that I beat someone because I played the game better than them on an individual level, without having to factor anybody else into the equation. I mean, who the hell stands, sees that I have a bunch of tanks sieged up on the high ground with other units supporting them, and then tries to push up the ramp anyway. And then, a few games after that, I placed in bronze 3rd. The library in Halo 1. They accidentally put a mental stability test in their video game lol. Before I got an Xbox, I went to my best friend's house and we'd rock co-op Halo CE after school. The first time we played the library, we played on legendary BTW. He told me what to expect, but no one can ever truly prepare for what a 3 AM legendary run of the library ho. Such a fantastic game. So many good memories with that series. The entire opening stage of Halo 1 had never seen such beauty in game form, and for a console player, that first dual stick experience that allowed for so much more control was both hard to adapt to at first and fascinating in concept. The first 20 minutes of The Last of Us, this fucking game gets you instantly invested in a few characters within a ridiculously short time, and then subsequently breaks your heart harder than any game ever broke it before. Also the first hour of God of War, the boss fight with the stranger is quite possibly the greatest thing I've ever experienced in a video game to date. Then it's kinda okay fighting the same troll boss with different skins, but then you get to the other bosses. The first time seeing the graphics and playing Super Mario 64. Edit. Why did Nintendo eventually fall behind in graphics when they were ahead for a bit? What's stopping them from making a PS4 killer? This. I distinctly remember seeing the playable N64 at Target in late 1996 as a kid, growing up until then with the NES and SNES. I will never forget how much those 3D graphics blew my mind. It may look blocky and pixelated now, but at the time it was damn revolutionary. I'll be the first one here to say no Russian. Nobody forgets that one. That one blew the minds of a lot of people, especially those poor souls in the airport. Nice. Surprised no one has said this but Batman Arkham Asylum, when the game seemingly starts over for no reason and you realize it's just a scarecrow vision. I was so confused then completely blown away. God, I remember that. I got pissed because I thought my Xbox had just shat itself. But nope. Just Scarecrow doing some crazy mind shit on you. The quest in Fallout New Vegas where you have to find out who killed Boone's wife amongst the friendly townspeople. It was the perfect marriage of gameplay, well written dialogue, killer pacing, top-notch characterization, gut-wrenching decision making, all with a demon dark tone. This showed me the potential video games had in telling interactive stories with dire consequences, and this particular moment stood out amongst so many others in this incredible game. Came here to find FNV, was not disappointed. Boone is an unforgettable character. First time playing Skyrim, The first time seeing that opening scene was pretty exciting. Also, being murdered by townspeople because I killed a chicken a short while later. First time playing Skyrim was like nothing I've ever experienced before. I felt like I could do anything, go anywhere, and in my own way. I don't know if I'm ever going to feel the same sense of wonder and exploration I felt there. First time I played Skyrim. I used to play Shadow of the Colossus with my little brother watching and commenting besides me, and this is such a nice memory for me, especially now that we've grown apart and we don't see each other that much anymore. The sibling co-gamer during a gameplay session is one of the great things that makes gaming unique. First 99 in RuneScape. All those trees taught me what grinding is. Those 99 start coming fast after the first. I got my first like a year or two ago on my 11-year-old account and now I have 5. The scene in Red Dead 2 where everyone walks up to the Braithwaite's house. I literally had the good, the bad and the ugly song playing in my head when that scene showed up. Such an awesome moment. This part and the part in chapter 6 when a few of the gang members and the natives are riding down the hill towards that complex with bullets whizzing past you were the 2 coolest parts for me. How about the ride with Morgan after the news from the dock? That song and ride was sublime. This is golden, Mr. Skeletal. It appears only once every 20,000 years. Like the video and subscribe to comment awards in 20 seconds or you will never have calcium and good bones again. PG! On top, food chain, won't stop, new game, hot box that blue haze, 1 lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes, mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view, 5 cops, food race, faster than a Tesla, they say I'm exhausted.